I will start with the previous works that are closely related to this work that I exhibited at Gallery Kortil, Geo4Dwell. 3 or 4 years ago, I started with working with the LED technology and LED screens. Some large LED billboard have fallen from the wind into the sea, and then I collected on the ferry port. I collected a few pieces from the shore. Then I tried to assemble it and revive it, and the idea of working with LED technology came from there. So I got funding from GMK Zagreb gallery, and I started ordering stuff from China, from AliExpress, because I'm buying most of my materials from there because it's consumer electronics, so cheap and so fast to get it. And I started to building the large LED screens from these small 20 centimeters parts, and parallel to this, trying to learn how to connect it with Chinese software, with like closed technology. It is their FPGA cards with limited portability and programs to work with. So I managed to build the LED screen like half meter by 4 meter long, and my main point of interest in this production of artwork was thinking about the work that is inside this artwork, from other people, like micro work, like workers in factory that are doing on a production just one screw, or soldering just one chip, and all the postmen that are bringing the packets from abroad, and workers in sorting centers in Asia, organizing the packets, the shipment for the boat or for the plane. And the idea was to transfer the work from a worker in a factory to the artwork itself, and to work with physicality of pixel, to somehow try to convince the observers or the gallery visitors to think about, and the artists to think about the physicality of their work. If somebody is working with videography or photos, think about the representation and what is the price of showing their work on technology today. And the implications of using technology in the galleries, that it's not just a USB stick and some WeTransfer folder or something, that TV screen or a projector was produced somewhere, that the mining for the materials, for the chips and for the conductors were that those materials were mined in questionable conditions, with the overworked hours, and with the young children doing mining, and whole the idea of hidden work in using technology, and the implications of on ecology and transportation from China to Europe, and war between different countries, economical war between different countries. So from there I started to expanding the work on some different ideas, to working with the physicality of pixel, This one work called Land was a dystopian story about last pieces of land on Earth because of ecological catastrophe. The whole planet was drowned in ocean, so only few satellite islands left with the floating artifacts from previous civilizations. It was mostly plastic and stuff that I found on the shore, and it was a representation of the lead screen that I found in the sea. I exhibited it in Pula this year, and this one work called Dot Work, I was doing more graphical stuff, more new tendency stuff like ambient light, LED technology, and graphic art. But I was thinking about, because it was in Novigrad, in the old core of the city, in the stone like buildings and really old monuments. I was thinking about light pollution and using the LED billboards and like new LED commercials in all city centers and the streets, and implication of light pollution in the cities on the coast. And this new work, I started working with, I got interested in the bark beetles and the insects that live beneath the bark, because I found them in woods. I was walking through the woods and trying to find some signs that I saw before. A few years ago on one island, I found this branch with hieroglyphs or some writings on it, and I didn't know what it was. I bring it home, and after a few months I did research and found out that it was one beetle that is eating the wood and leaving its marks. So I got interested of idea of leaving some writings, or I call it a semic writing of the like living bugs, and I got interested in idea of reproducing those kind of artifacts into some more solid and more durable materials. So for this project, I built a CNC machine to mill the plywood and aluminum sheets. And I tried to experiment with different layers of plywood to get different shadings for those artifacts. Firstly, I was planning to use AI to build a model to make from it some artificial patterns, some artificial writings, but then I switched to different type of technique to make L systems, generative stuff, because it seems at first it seems that if I put enough pictures of bark beetles that I could get some usable results, but maybe this is not the right tool or right technology for that thing that I needed. So I switched more to generative computer stuff like L systems and vector graphics. I translated those patterns from the trees to 2D vector graphics, and then I switched it to 3D graphics, and from there I 3D printed it, cut it in a plywood, and make like 2D sculptures from it, from brass. This is the process of cutting it. I like the idea of eating the wood with man-made machines, and the translation of bugs eating the eating the wood and living inside the wood and reproducing inside of it, and replication of that kind of similar process with the same writings with the machine and man-made industrial materials like plywood and MDF and that kind of board for making kitchens or interiors. Okay. Yeah, the reason that I started working with the bark beetles is I like to work with cycles in nature and implication of human actions and technology on nature, and trying to raise awareness about like our implications of using technology. In this case of bark beetles, it is there are not problems because they are composting the old dead trees that have fallen, but because of global warming and because of the use of fuels, there is a present situation of they're spreading uncontrollably in our woods, because the winters are not so cold that were before, and they're spreading more, attacking the trees that are still healthy. And there are some few theories that trees, especially pine trees, that are with their resin, that are communicating with each other because the resin is their defense. And bark beetles have large antennas like that they can sense the smell of the resin inside the trees. So there is one theory that trees with their resin that can communicate with each other, and they can raise their defense with the resin. But because of the pollution and with the smog, the communication is not going really well. So people are now trying to put the traps for the bark beetles with the chemical stuff inside to somehow manage their spreading between the healthy trees. Yeah, this is in a short, this is my project that I worked on. Okay, do you have some questions?
Okay. Well, thank you very much, first of all. It's very interesting. I'll just stay here shortly. So maybe somebody have a question before so please, will you come here to ask him so that we hear on?
Yeah, thank you for a nice project. I saw now, my question was, do you also display the wood cuts in the gallery?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have different types of experiments that you then show in a series together, but you can also sometimes just show one instance, no? So it's my...
Yeah, in this piece, in Cortila, I show this work is more technological based, and I'm showing the process of cutting it and using the machine for cutting it. But in this work in Pula, I exhibited the brass like plates intended for printing, and aluminium plates and more 3D stuff. It's not shown.
And these are the wood plates, no?
Yeah, I have it here.
And do you also display them next to the original bark that
No,
inspired you?
I was intended, but the problem is because the original bark, I didn't know that they can have still eggs inside, so I have infestation at home. It's not good for spreading the insects, you know. I need to somehow... I decided not to use the original bark in exhibitions for that reason. I only 3D scan them and vectorize them. I cook them so I can somehow prevent the infestation, but I didn't use them in a final exhibits. Yeah.
Not really a question, just a comment about prime communication.
Mm-hmm. Beneath. Mm-hmm.
Not so susceptible to smog.
How? So it's not based on the... But this research was based on communication between the insects, because the male insect and female insect, when one of them goes beneath the bark, they start sending chemical signals for other insects that this tree is good. I know. It's somehow the work is limited. The research was still, I think, not fully done, but there were some maybe implications of quality of air and the spreading of the insects. But yeah, the mycelium and underground is probably the route that is going the communication. Yeah, thank you for the remark.